Welcome back to HGC in North America, where No Tomorrow took out Team 8 in Game 1. Granted, it was with the sub, but it's a sub who knows what he's doing. In Game number 1, with a double melee assassin. Genji's like back and forth. I think he's listed as a range, but he feels melee to me.
Is he really? I mean, I would put him, if that truly is his categorization, beyond that entire topic point about, the categorizing, it is more, I think Tracer is technically a range too.
Yeah.
Plays like a melee.
Right.
It's just, it's what they fill in terms of the damage type and the characteristics of the kit. It's not always the defining of like where the damage, like I'll be honest, I view Cassia as a melee. Even though she's technically range 2, it's just more of like where the damage comes out and then how the damage is distributed, even though it is that auto attack AoE. No Tomorrow though for game number 2. They're going to be taking us to Battlefield of Eternity.
Not a terrible battleground at all for Team 8 though. They're sitting at 7-2 in Battlefield. That is one of their best records. Only Brax's holdout even better for them. So they want to get things going for them. They unfortunately lost game number 1, but it was a very close one. It could have gone either way, honestly.
It's just, Battlefield, I'm scared for No Tomorrow, I'll be honest. Even with the sub, I am a bit afraid. Team 8 has, maybe I'm giving them too much credit because when Team 8 is very dominant on Battlefield of Eternity, that usually happens through macro play. It isn't through the actual Immortal itself. How most teams win on BOE, Team 8, kind of found their own direction. So maybe that is something that No Tomorrow can use because I think that first game even showed it. Team 8 is not nearly as good at macro when they have Dyrus. It's just too much emphasis on making sure Dyrus is not off on his own getting caught and then also making sure they're doing everything right. So, that macro game will die and maybe be more of a selling point for No Tomorrow.
It is a great thing, in my opinion, that we get to see No Tomorrow choosing to go to Battlefield of Eternity. This has been more of a shift for them, given the fact that, again, they have loved Dragonshire, they have adored Dragonshire, but Dragonshire doesn't love them back the way that they would like. The best battleground for them throughout all of Phase 1 has been Battlefield of Eternity. They found far more success there than on the Dragonshire.
The abusive relationship of No Tomorrow and Dragonshire. No Tomorrow's sitting there.
They're 1-7.
They're giving their heart to Dragonshire. Every time they walk in, they say, we're going to pick you before everyone else. You see all these other maps? You, Dragonshire. We hold you higher than we do all those. And Dragonshire is just like, talk to the hand, boys. Don't want anything to do with you. We out.
Really, though, it's an unforgiving battleground, There's skirmishes happening everywhere. Everybody has to be on point. Everybody has to make sure that they're not making mistakes, and it's rough. It's been rough for No Tomorrow there.
Yeah.
So, again, changing things up, going to Battlefield of Eternity where they feel confident for game number 2, even despite the fact that Team 8 feels good there too.
We'll see. Team 8 and No Tomorrow. Game 2. Draft's going to get underway. We got the music pumping.
I was waiting for it. I was like, let's drop that beat.
Oh, man.
It's like I've never heard this song before.
But it's one of those things that you take it a song at a time, We could hear these songs over and over again, but sometimes I hear it and it's like it was the first time.
Yeah, I never get tired of these Lucio songs. That is the truth.
I'll be honest.
I love them so much.
I'm not... that music falls directly into your favorite genre of music. That is a stark contrast to mine, and I still jam to it every time I hear it too.
That is true. You're correct. This is my jam.
This is
in more ways than one.
Yeah. By the way, the draft here so far, Cassia was the ban for Team 8 on Battlefield of Eternity, and No Tomorrow sticking to the Anub, something that is, I feel comfortable now saying that it is the Tassadar replacement, at least for North America so far.
Not sure what else to ban. Let's just get rid of a noob.
Get him out. Don't deal with it. Teammate lock in that gray main, though, for Glaurung, and it's one of his best maps. It's already going to be a powerful pick here. Up for them, No Tomorrow responds with the Muradin.
Same thing, though. Muradin is such a strong picked hero for No Tomorrow. Now, Urho. We did see a new Barak. It does feel like Urho is most beneficial to his team when he's on one of those two heroes. A new Barak or Muradin, and Muradin combos so well with the immortal damage. He can slow down damage.
Man, I thought there was no way we saw this from No Tomorrow. I was gonna suggest, like, kick it old school, bust out the Mert and Li Ming. You know, you banned out the Anu, but it's just not only is Li Ming getting bodied, absolutely bodied, as we see right there, 36% win rate, even though she's been picked in 33% of games. Not only that, it's that high up. It's not like Li Ming's been heavily contested for a lot of North American teams for about the past 4 weeks.
Yeah,
so.
we started part 2, and she was, and now she's 1-13, but a counterpoint. The only team to win with her in all of part 2?
I'm guessing
Tomorrow.
Talking Trees on his Li Ming.
It was No Tomorrow.
Miracle workers themselves. No Tomorrow here. Either way, teammate though, they've got the Varian, they've got the Medivh, or Varian and Malfurion, they've got the Greymane. I said the Medivh because every time they pick Varian on BOE, there's always a Medivh behind it.
It's only a matter of time.
And I don't think that's going to change here. You talked about the strategies that teammate tries to implement in the draft. You pick a bunch of vague characters that you don't really know where they're going to be committed. And the first was the Greymane. So now you have the fear of like, oh, is that going to be Glong? Is that going to be somebody else?
Prismaticism.
I like how you did that with me. A little bit of
column A, a little bit of column B.
It looks weirder when we do it the opposite.
Yeah, synchronized dancing now.
No Tomorrow, last pick coming up from them. They've got, what do they need? I mean, they already have a bit of pressure onto the race itself. It's been, if they want to deny the Medivh, it's insanely risky.
Sorry, Li Ming's 1-15. Just wanted to make sure.
Just in case you know, is a last hit
in
there. You wanted to make sure you got the old wind up before you smashed it.
In part 2. Karzim, great pick for Tiger JK. Great pick for Battlefield of Eternity. Lunara for Jason.
So do they commit? Do we still see that variation or more standard picks here for Team 8? We're still yet to pick Irises unless they put them on the Varian.
They could. In which case, maybe a Chromie or...
It is Dyrus' hero, I'm calling it.
The third. Calling
it. Last game, they picked Dyrus' hero in that second slot. I expect them to probably do that again, just out of limited hero pool. Might as well draft it high up.
But, counterpoint, teammate style.
What is it? There it is.
It also could have been that it countered for either. It could be Dyrus' hero, but it could also be Justing's, depending what they want.
Double
and now
flex.
with Dahaka, there you go.
This is an interesting here. One for Team 8, but how I would describe the composition teammates drafted, at least from their perspective, is just they feel at home, man.
It's teammates comp in a nutshell.
Varian, Medivh, Malfurion, and Greymane on BOE. That Dahaka could have been any other hero, and teammate would have just been like, yeah, we've done this a couple of times. Drop the portal. Let's go. No, tomorrow is the last pick. A beefy front line would force them into a double defensive strategy on the Immortal, and they have a Li Ming, and into a Medivh you want to play as offensive as possible. Or not Medivh, but excuse me, a Varian Medivh. Comp, you want to have poke. They've got that, so now it's got to be the beefcake to survive.
Casanova, we're thinking, man.
Not that one. Not the one I thought we were going to see. Zeratul. I don't think I've ever seen Casanova find a bigger backpack in my entire life after that last pick. He just was just like, you know what? Screw the meta. I'm all in it on the Zera. I'm going for it.
It's like, there are 3 different backpacks here. Which one do I want? Oh, this one looks to be about 50 pounds.
Strapped her. Let's go.
Ready.
Just turn around. There's a bunch of little Urhos and stuff in the back. Oh, man. No, this is going to be a tough game, I think, for No Tomorrow. Just judging off the draft alone based on the fact that they've got a lot of poke, and they've still got the Zeratul. You know, he always can come out and get a win, but the fact that teammate has a tried and true composition on the map, that they kind of invented it, if you will, but more importantly, it's teammate, you know? It's just a dominant team with a dominant strategy on one of their favorite maps. What else could you ask for?
What does No Tomorrow have to do? Does it come down to Casanova's Void Prisons? Is it more about the poke and they just use Murden and Zeratul to zone and scare away everybody else?
I think a lot of it's going to come down to abusing, honestly, Dyrus and his positioning in a lot of places. Zeratul's very good at punishing, especially newer players at the competitive level. Like, you never surprise the amount of burst that guy can dish out sometimes. And then I think it's also just going to force them to be way more the aggressors in a lot of ways. Not let the Varian portal while Dahaka's side soaking, especially if that's Dyrus on the side soak, because you know his burrow timing is going to be off, and Dahaka is debatably one of the most important things is how well can you time his Z.
Well, let's see how it goes. We're ready for game 2 with No Tomorrow up 1 game in this best of 5.
Even if they tried to make up for that and put him onto the Varian, it's still a lot of trust when, you know, Glorong drops the portal and it's just like, time's up, let's go.
Yeah, for that reason, I saw Justin staying on Varian because it's a tried and true Medivh portal. Varian comes through with a taunt, and then Dyrus can brush talk in. Dyrus hit incredible swaps during the scrim versus Tempo Storm, and it gives Dyrus more health bars once he gets 10. Although I do wonder if we'll see isolation here because of Zeratul and the squishy targets of No Tomorrow, even Kharazim.
Yeah, that's a, you know, good point. We may end up seeing that heroic there. Is there any other option of a mix-up? Probably not. Twilight Dream, no Trink here.
Probably will be Palm. Nice drag already.
Portal, he's down. If he ends up hitting, oh man. Nice portal. Dyrus going to be out. I thought for a moment that might be a pick, but the CC hit onto Glorong was going to be enough. But if that was a Master's Touch Glorong, it would have been one dead or ho.
Team has switched up lanes quickly, sending Dyrus to the bottom lane. He's trying to catch anybody out from those rotations. Yeah, as far as heroic abilities though, Palm probably from Tiger JK, knowing Tiger. We've seen some 7-sided strikes, some both really from him. Leaping Strike, maybe, unless they want to have more of the poke Lunara and let Jason stay safe with the long-range Thornwood Vine.
I do think we'll see Palm from Tiger. I do.
Same.
Just because he's not only one of the more prone, but it's a triple squishy. Like, there's never been a draft that screams Palm more to me in a long while here in North America. Bit of a skirmish back and forth, up on bottom, up on top, but we're all waiting for one thing here, Gilly. It's Battlefield of Eternity. You're just waiting out these Immortals. They're too strong. They're so powerful. Cannot ignore them. Oh, this might be a dead Dyrus. It pretty much is going to be. There's going to be the first CC. He's got a burrow. That was a nice force of will coming out from Glar.
Keeps him alive, and thankfully so, because the Immortals have started. In position are No Tomorrow. They have a lot of damage. So they want to make sure that Trees can throw that out consistently. Trees did have to give up Power Hungry or Astral Presence in order to make sure she could get Force Armor because of things like Cocktails. Arcane Rifts too wants to make sure that she has some sustainability to help Kharazim.
So yeah, we'll keep track of how that affects mana. I adored that level 1 Unleaming. It's crazy powerful. It's just that it just hurts your poking so much, which removes a large portion of the threat onto the Immortal itself that Leaming traditionally brings. So making it that much easier for Dahaka, Dyrus on the Dahaka to go and get that side soak here and there because Leaming is out of mana. She's got a tap, she's got a back. That's 15 seconds to 30 seconds. That's a mini wave. Suddenly a level behind. And
now with Shield Wall, it's even more effective and easier for Varian to soak up a lot of those skill shots too, which makes it, she needs to be able to throw out more. So she won't have that way of being able to keep her mana up. A little bit less poke there. Now No Tomorrow's going to go for a defensive posturing, putting just Zeratul on the point.
Teammate's got a bit of damage, but unable to kick off the halftime show yet. Zeratul in a bit of a qualm down here. But we got it. Halftime show's off. Teammate is losing. What are they going to do? Are they going to play defensive? Justin and Glorong kind of feigning it. Prismat's back, working on the race itself. Casanova looking for that flank. Nice reveal from Buds.
Earth Ally taken out from the slam of the Immortal. Very close Immortal health, but Justing is intolerable for No Tomorrow, the way he is absorbing so many of these skill shots. He may single-handedly win this for his team, but no, finally No Tomorrow pick up on what teammates doing, they commit, and they get the first Immortal.
More importantly, thanks to the 4-1 split of Teammate, they have found themselves just, I mean, that, I don't even know if you can really see the little sliver there. It's pretty tiny. No shielding here. So range form of this Immortal is going to be rid of rather quickly. And with the Haka, you know, Dyrus up in that side, so Teammates slightly ahead of even experience here. So they've done a very good job. Their composition gets way better post 10, but Jason caught out by the roots and a pick.
They were trying to get away from the portal, but still, even without taunt yet, Team 8 gets a pick on somebody squishy. That does feel
scary.
like, yeah, it's foreshadowing of much scarier things to come.
I think that's about the best way to put that is if you're already struggling with the triple squishy into the Varian Medivh composition, it's only going to get worse post 10. I mean, the argument you can make is, well, you always have Palm to save them. And it's like, yes, but Palm is 60 seconds, I believe, off the top of my head, whereas Portal is post 13, you know, it's 100% uptime.
Yeah, he has picked up blinding speed, so later on, he's setting up to have cleansing touch, but that is a faraway dream right now for Tiger JK and Karazim to be able to get the cleanse dash once he hits 16. There's going to be several Immortal phases before then.
No Tomorrow, unable to clear out this camp pretty quickly. Justing just, man, I want to know how much magic damage he takes by the end of this game because absorbing so much there from the Li Ming. He didn't move into Seeker, so won't put too much pressure onto Justing. The Seeker at 7, whenever you hit all 3 missiles, you get bonus damage. This is seen time to time on Battlefield of Eternity because it also works on the Immortals.
In this case, Li Ming probably following up too with Illusionist, just trying to make sure that she can be as safe. Make sure she gets those resets with dominance. Everyone is going to be trying to play safely, which is why I thought maybe Thorn would Vine for Jason so that he, well, it depends. Do you want the safety of the range, the safety of being able to reposition with Leaping Strike?
I like the idea of Leaping Strike almost always, just off the mobility as a general rule, unless you truly need, you know, to counter something else.
Beautiful camera shot showing the race possibilities of No Tomorrow. Thank you very much, Brosidon.
Down 3 members, or down 2 members, still win the race.
Unfortunately, they might be about to lose the battle. There is a portal. Stun hits Justing in time. Erho keeping his team alive. There's a possibility for defense, but they only can have the 3 because they have to be soaking the side lanes. Dahaka is in 1. That means Zeratul has to be in 1 too. Keeping Lunara and another teammate will get heroic abilities a long way before No Tomorrow will get theirs.
They will, and what can they make happen with it? There they go. 10's online. What does teammate decide to do? First thing, move on to the Immortal. No Tomorrow's got members Lunara and Zeratul side soaking, realizing that they are desperately in need of those 10s. Dyrus moved up for a drag. Nice Stormbolt will deny that, but Justing with the portal? Do they steal it? No, they do not. I would have, you know, it's just, I like whenever we see that. It's not, it doesn't really mean a lot, but it definitely sends the message.
It sends a message, yeah. It's making a statement to your opponents. You know what else is making a statement to me? Why isn't Taunt picked up?
Well,
yeah.
I was going to say, you know, I've been crazy theory crafting some Colossus Smash ideas, but that wasn't the moment. There's the portal. Who's going to be the taunt victim? Leyline just kind of, you know, whiffed is the best way to put it.
Prismaticism had to go into the Void Prison. Now Taunt turn around. Twilight Dream, Arrow in trouble, has already used his avatar. Dyrus way in the back line of No Tomorrow, so a 1-for-1 trade.
Dyrus actually got the drag on the Casanova and got him a fraction of an inch from that. Half a fraction? I don't know. The fraction of an inch from dying. And that it was a very good job of him getting that pressure out there. But nice peel from No Tomorrow, and heals kept them in. Casanova goes in, he gets taunted, and the portal out. It's just there's very little counterplay to certain aspects of this composition. And it's, you know, you saw it right there, just the taunt, and you're like, oh, we can blow him up. He's like, ah, I can become invincible, then I can just run away. That's without the Medivh coming in to create more crazy variables.
Yeah, Varian, so unlikely to be the target for No Tomorrow.
Can we name this strategy the very end strategy? I've just been waiting because, you know, he's going in.
You should wait until the very end to hit him, to kill him?
No, it's just the Medivh. Medivh lays the portal, and then suddenly Varian's going very in.
Oh, yes, we can.
And that's where the explosion happens. Talking about going in. Adjusting once more. That's the second shield wall. Do we see the third? Sadly not.
Update 20 stacks so far, Master's Touch. So you can understand how and why Teammate may be playing the way that they are. A little more reserved.
Looks like we had it. Oh, the taunt. A lot of
Portal.
damage. Man.
Dahaka.
They dwarfed us out. That was just... To think that is just the Warrior that was able to apply that amount of pressure. You know, that was one auto attack coming out from the Warrior.
Yeah, Heroic Strike hurts.
It does, and it's almost always off cooldown.
Yeah.
Thanks to the build coming out from Justin here. 13 talents here online. Bottom fort down, top fort down. And, you know, T8 really, what else do you say other than just clean play? They're doing what they're doing with this strategy. You know exactly what we've known them for.
Yeah, they
here on
do.
BOE.
They're doing what Teammate often does with this strategy, with their composition, regardless of the battleground. Yes, definitely on Battlefield of Eternity, but this is just
It's gone
straight
elsewhere.
Teammate play. And it has gotten them that 13 advantage over No Tomorrow. No Tomorrow poked a little bit. Prismatic says, I'm hoping to catch Tiger JK. Glowring's there too. Leyline Seal. They can try to start this fight in. Dire steps in.
Palm.
Taunt there too. Palm, proc. Twilight Dream though from Buds. Protection and Ice Block to help him stay alive. Casanova wants this Buds kill. He's doing his darndest to get it. Buds barely makes it into the Void Prison, but he still goes down.
Tiger JK with all his dashes, thinking he could secure the kill there onto the Void, left him with none and a bit out of position. That was another kill going over to Team 8 and could not have been timed better with the fact that they have themselves the Immortals up right before the halftime show. They can kick it off, back, get a tap, and then look to actually take this fight and maybe secure themselves a keep.
13 now here for No Tomorrow, but Teammate already done with that. Moving on, nearly done with 14-2. There's the halfway point. I was trying to stop that backing or at least apply a little bit of damage from Jason. Can No Tomorrow sneak across in time and limit the shielding?
This just makes it that much more difficult. Taunt, Brute going on to Murden. Urho gets deleted, drops the Palm, he stays alive. No proc on the Palm, and the Dwarf toss out. Dyrus went in for the God flank there, but didn't get it thanks to a nice stunt. That was so close. I thought Dyrus was about to just flex on these kids.
There is still yet time. Casanova's been spotted out. Singularity Spike.
Nice
Seeker's
poke.
in. Here's the drag they need. Airho does not have Avatar for a few seconds.
Sadly, the taunt was not off cooldown either. 2 seconds for that to come back up. We see Master's Touch completed here for Glorong, suddenly making the damage and lethality of Team 8 that much better. Dahaka getting for the side soak, forcing members of Team 8 to move up, but a taunt and a root alone. Setting Talking Trees, that's with Force Armor. With Force Armor. He gets just obliterated there, and the ley line is dropped.
Void Prison to counter, too. We've seen this before. Dyrus trying to find a target for the team once they come out. Protection for days. Twilight Dream from Buds. Muradin has been killed, and there may be more. With that portal, Lunara is already out of the fight, too, for 30 seconds.
30 seconds down, and Team 8 spends it, just deleting the rest of this Mortal. They've got 16 talents here, Gilly. Now they're doing the, you know, the cheeky steal a bit later. Thanks to Varian taking...
Why take a portal when you can take a ride?
Yeah, dude. Varian, you know, he might need to set a Slay or something behind him. Let his friends move in. They're going to try and stop this. Down a member, taunts onto Tiger JK, palm hits, but is it worth it? I think, you know, we realized the answer once he decided to come back.
Yeah, there's way too much CC crowd control for teammate to let him get away from that. So that's a Karazim and a palm down now for 40 seconds. Taunt once again, Prismaticism there, portal just to make sure for safety.
Bud showing mercy this time, not instantly falling up the route there. Anytime that happens, the Dwarf Toss, not even an option. Shielding onto the Immortal, still sitting at 50% as it wails away on bottom. Teammates just gonna buy time. They don't have to force this. The bottom keep is what they're worried about. Justin goes in. Jason, Leyline Seal will end up sealing the deal.
Yeah, that just gives them even better body blocks to get that kill. Tiger JK running away. Dyrus and friends will turn around and try to get other kills instead. Again,
meanwhile,
buying time.
In bottom, the keep, it's gone. Top keep's about to fall now that they're replying. See, that's the problem with this, is that No Tomorrow at no point can respond to it, because then they lose both keeps. That is why I love this split pushing strategy. The taunt, the damage coming out from Greymane there. Prismat can't lock it down. That's going to be one living Urho, but it did cause a palm to be dropped, actually, right as he went off screen.
Teammate is so out of mana. Buds was out of mana for basically the entirety of that fight, yet making it work in the end. Teammate gets both keeps.
In case you're wondering, Dread, that split push strategy on Battlefield of Eternity, what do I do? That was a lose-lose. How do you ever, you just rid of the shielding and then you walk away from the Immortal and you take the fight. That's just how you have to put some focus on it. The number one thing you do not do in that situation, Gilly, is ever 5-on-5 match your opponents. That is the only way you can lose the game there. You bank on losing 2 keeps. You could only lose 1 if you do it properly, but it's just like, No Tomorrow responded, even though they're down 16 talent here, which made the fight way less appealing. There was a lot of things that went into this circumstances, but it also was about the worst way they could have. You saw why that split pushing can be overly effective, but No Tomorrow kind of fell into it.
Honestly, from about the palm on the Shaman point on, it's felt like No Tomorrow was like, okay, we get the draft and what's been happening to us from Team 8. Now we just need to catch up, get to the point where maybe we can get an even fight. But teammate don't want to let them have it. They've got a drag.
He's got
Perfect drag. Twilight Dream after the taunt. Now Muradin is in trouble too, in danger. Dwarf tosses away and still has Avatar if it's needed to defend this core.
Void's up in 2 though, and that is something that they might be able to use to stall out. 55% is enough to move in 5 versus 4 and win the game, but Void is enough to maybe stall that out. Urho not getting the Stormbolt. He desired to get a pick, portal out his Team 8. But No Tomorrow, 15 seconds away from having their support, 15 seconds away from experiencing this next Immortal phase, but they've got the 16 talent here. This is the fight where they could, you know, for lack of a better verb, they could B-step it and just come out of nowhere and win a late game fight, except for the drag, the Cursed Bullet. Good night, Urho. You are now not a part of this Immortal phase. We would like to see you in the next one.
Karazim did not take Cleansing Touch. Full damage. Way of the 100 Fist. Let's go! Down to just about the last fight they're going to get in this game. No keeps remain. If teammate gets this, this is an Immortal that's trudging on toward core.
We're gonna find out. You know, I'm trying to find a way that this game doesn't just end right here, no matter what No Tomorrow does. Like, what can they do? And a lot of it is Casanova, but the problem is, you know, between the scouting drone, between the reveal that and scouting that Medivh is able to provide here into this game, and just the fear of a variant, the only target that Casanova can go on to and not totally hate his life is a mouth, and then all those other tools can peel so well. There's the taunt combo going out onto the Li Ming, but the Leyline Seal bought her a little bit of time. Tiger JK drops a palm. The Void is there. Prismat Kite now as he dives onto the backline. Disengages.
This is just about the best that No Tomorrow is going to get, but they still lose Zeratul. It's a 1 for 2. Karazim is out of here, so no support for No Tomorrow. Drag hits Talking Trees, teleports in. Arrow's there to try to save him. Lunara is going to be the next to fall. Talking Trees!
I believe No, Minion's not like this. He's got 7 seconds. He's good. You know, let's watch this. I'm not worried about the core that's winning or losing the game right now. I like this battle way more. Aw, they didn't find the Li Ming. Talking Trees made it out. Mission complete, but either way, that's GG. No tomorrow. Turning the season, or this series, excuse me, to dead even here, 1-1 against No Tomorrow.
Things started out fairly well for No Tomorrow at the beginning of that fight. The target got hit by Leyline Seal, so that was enough time. It actually sort of saved them long enough that No Tomorrow had some time to try to take out Prismaticism, but still the separation, the chaos composition that is often caused by a Medivh in a team fight was just too much for No Tomorrow. Teammate doing their thing on Battlefield.
They did their thing on BOE, but it was not nearly as clean considering the comfort. I mean, maybe that's not fair. It was one fight that No Tomorrow even stood a chance in that game, so maybe that's not giving them enough credit because it did seem close for the last minute in that one fight, but every other part of that, Teammate did have a rather, you know, dominant performance, a 3-level lead in control, so maybe I'm not giving it credit. I was just thinking Teammate's on their home turf. They're with a legitimately, not only a strategy that debatably they developed or at least perfected out of the North American teams, and they still didn't come out just dominating the game, but, you know, when revisiting the kills, that was 13-3 or 15-3. So,
right.
you know, so actually, they just didn't seal the deal, lock down the